things that would concern me is the number of we've got a few brokerages that are offshore, and in legal frameworks that may not work as effectively as the US, whereas the US legal system is very robust.
I mean, I just can't imagine why anybody would want to put their money at a foreign exchange deal that's not regulated, by anybody overseas, or even some minor regulation. Try settling a dispute. Try getting your capital back. If I'm not talking about everybody. I'm just saying these are things that I would worry about. Okay, I don't want to put my money somewhere where I'm not 100% confident that when I call and want my money back, it's going to come back to me. Just because you give money to somebody doesn't mean they got to give it back to you. Yeah. And unfortunately, you start dealing with a lot of these places around the world for foreign exchange. And quite frankly, I don't see any reason for it. All right, I don't see any reason why anybody would not want to take advantage of the safety of the U.S. regulatory system to do their foreign exchange business. I see no advantages, quite frankly, of being outside the U.S. I only see advantages of being inside the U.S.
Now, one of the things I've noticed that has changed, which is quite appealing to Forex traders who are outside the U.S., is that you can have other denominated accounts other than the U.S. dollar.
Well, you sure, hey, when you're in,
because you don't want to take that exchange hit as well.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, say what you want about the value of the U.S. dollar. Is it appreciating or is it depreciating? One of the problems was if you were an international citizen and you had your money in whatever country it is you're living in, if you wanted to do business in the Forex market in the U.S., you can only deposit and hold your account in U.S. dollars. So that meant even if you were trading well and doing well, if the U.S. dollar was depreciating against, let's say, the currency of your home nation or home country, you'll actually be losing money, because even though you're trading well, you have your money sitting in U.S. dollars, and if the dollars are getting devalued, you're going to lose money on that end. Okay? But now, with a lot of the firms, and I can't speak for all of them, but we now accept deposits in pounds, British pounds, euros, Swiss franc, and Japanese yen. So you no longer have to have your money in U.S. dollars if you don't want to, and still yet participate in the U.S. foreign exchange market. You can keep your currency, any one of those four. We don't take any currency, okay? But certainly any one of those four currencies you can keep your deposit in, and you therefore have, I guess you could call it a trade on. I mean, you're keeping your money in whatever currency it is. That's a trade by itself, where just keeping your money in.
And obviously, you then have the option about whether you want to do that, sort of carry trade or whatever.
Yeah, you could, and you could put it in dollars. It doesn't matter. It's whatever you want to have the money held in.
Okay. Can we talk specifics? Just explain a couple of things about the Dodd-Frank Act as it pertains to Forex traders.
I'm not an expert on Dodd-Frank,
no,
but I certainly know enough. By the way, and nobody in the U.S. is an expert on Dodd-Frank, because the bill is still being written. Okay, and there's over 2,000
I'm
pages
not asking you for an expert opinion.
Okay.
What I'm asking you is that what happens in practical terms on a day-to-day basis. And the first thing I'd ask you is how the first in, first out rule impacts.
FIFO.
Yeah.
Okay. FIFO is a key concept. FIFO, short for first in, first out. It's an accounting term. Essentially, it's an accounting term used to measure profits. So in the U.S. market, the U.S. government took the position that FIFO is a very critical way to be able to judge the actual effectiveness of different Forex strategies and Forex programs that are running in the marketplace. So let me try and be clear, okay? Because we also have ways in which we can deal with this. But if, to avoid misleading and, hyper promotional advertising, the U.S. government doesn't want to see advertisements and promotions in the Forex market with 95% trading accuracy. Hey, look at my program. We're right 95% of the time. We're right 90% of the time. Well, that's possible, all right, because it can happen. But there are also ways in which you can play with your trading results to show a much higher percentage of winning trades. And it's very simple. Every time you have a couple of points of a winner, you take it off. When you have a couple of points of a loser, you leave it go until it comes back to become a winner. Sometimes they don't come back. So you'll do a trade, make 5 points. You'll do another trade, you'll make 3 points. You'll do another trade, it goes down 3, you're leaving that on the side. Okay, we'll keep that one going. Okay, maybe it'll come back, maybe it won't. And you do some more trades, another one good, another 4 points, another 5 points, another 8 points, another 10 points. But meantime, your loser is still dead, and now it's down 30 points because you kind of let it sit and you didn't take it off the table. So it's very possible, not only possible, it's very conceivable that you can have a one-loss record in actual trades be very, very high, but, and a critical but, you're not making any money in the account. Maybe even you're losing money in the account. Because when you're right, okay, you may be right a very large percentage of the time, but you're taking small profits. Your losers, while they may represent a small percentage on a trade-by-trade basis, could be a whopping loser.
Sure.
So I've known people, I've seen programs, I've seen traders that could be right 90% of the time. How's your account doing? Well, we're down. We lost X amount of money last month. We want to be careful about that.
So are you saying it makes the trader declare his losses?
If for an accounting purpose, it makes the trader match up a trade with another trade, first in, first out. The first time you buy something, if you were to buy something a couple of times, let's say you were trading the euro, and you bought 100,000 euro at $1.39, and then you bought 3 days later another 100,000 euro at $1.40. And then you bought another $100,000 euro at $1.41, okay? And now you want to sell 100,000 euro. You have to match the 100,000 euro that you're selling, the first sell, against your first buy.
Yeah.
Okay, and that will dictate the P&L on that particular trade.
Okay.
All right.
Which, in your example, is still in a losing position, although he's got some winning positions in the.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay, but it makes you account for the trade. Okay, as it happens, you cannot technically pick and choose which order you want to close in the U.S. for regulatory purposes, for exactly the same reasons as I was starting to talk about before.
So there's obviously quite a rational reason for introducing
absolutely,
that.
absolutely.